Hey you, it's me. And I decided that I would delete my last video and make a new one because I was extremely angry. And I don't know that what I said was even cohesive at the time. I'm still extremely angry, but hopefully I can put words to better use in this video. But anyway, in the last video I talked about Dick Masterson and Vito, who do a podcast together. They went to a protest where people were protesting Dave Chappelle, and they decided to go there and protest the protesters, I guess. And as you can see, the sign, Dave is funny and jokes are funny. That's pretty much all that was said on the signs. They went there. They really just stood there. They didn't even say anything initially. They were both attacked. Unfortunately, Dick Masterson had his head slammed into cement, and he's still suffering the effects of that, which is a horrible thing. He could have been killed easily. And it just makes me look at these protesters all the more. Now, these protesters were there to protest Dave Chappelle for doing a comedy show where he made some jokes about trans people. And apparently this is hate speech, and he's promoting violence. Alright. But who's actually doing the violence here? Because Dick and Vito didn't do anything. They were just standing there with signs. It was the protesters. It was the Netflix writer who attacked them. It was Antifa guy who shoved Dick Masterson. And here's the kicker. Associated Press said that they were the ones that were violent. There's been some news coverage, I guess mainly it was about the protest against Netflix, but they're claiming that Dick and Vito were the ones who were the aggressors who assaulted people, and that is completely opposite of what happened. They were both assaulted, and it just, how can you call yourself a protester against violence when you're doing the violence? This is something that just blows my mind. It's the same with Antifa. They do the violence. Same with Black Lives Matter. They do the violence, and they say that they're just in doing so. I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think it's terrible what they've done, and yet they're not called terrorist organizations. They get arrested and get set free, and it blows my mind. It literally blows my mind that these people can get away with such violent acts and nothing happens to them. I just hope that in this situation, especially that writer who seemed to have done the assault on both Vito and at least started the one with Dick, I hope justice is served. That's all I can say. I hope that justice is served. And the guy who actually pushed Dick, I hope justice is served with them too. I'm still so angry, but it's not common for me to get that angry. Well, I mean, I do have my temper, but I didn't want to come off so strongly with the cussing, and I was so angry. I'm still so angry. But again, I want to be a little more cohesive, and in that anger moment, you're not always cohesive. You're just kind of spitting out your anger, and but I mean, I don't see how people don't see it, but maybe they'll see it in this case. Maybe this will finally open their eyes to the fact that these protesters are violent and they mean to do harm. They're not there to save the trans community in this case. They're just there to be violent. And it was proven. That's what they did. They were violent. They were assaulting both of these gentlemen who were just standing there with signs. And they had every right to be there just as much as the protesters had a right to be there. I'm not saying protesting is bad, but when you intentionally go into it knowing that you could commit an act of violence, that's wrong. That's not what a protest is supposed to be about. A peaceful protest is actually peaceful, where you go out there, you chant, you walk around. You don't assault people that disagree with you. These aren't good people. These aren't people that are looking for good or trying to save somebody. These are bad people who are using an excuse to get what they want, and they'll do it by any means, including violence. And I just think it's absolutely disgusting, and I hope justice eventually is served on these people and all these people that are doing all these violent acts, because that's not how you get things done. It's just absolutely disgusting. That's all I gotta say.